I must be the last person on the planet to drive the Mini EV. And the yours is the same as BMW individual, so it gets a bunch of extra stuff. So there's leather and sunroof and all of that sort of stuff to make this one worth a little bit more. It is pure EV, and it will charge at a maximum of 50 kilowatts. BMW says this is a city car, and so it has city car range. They say it's about 230 kilometers, but I've been getting absolutely nowhere near that with some quite gentle driving. It's got these natty 17-inch wheels, and I absolutely adore the Union Jack, which is split between both the taillights. And you can see the E badge, which is really the only nod apart from the wheels that this is an electric car. But as with most EVs, there's really not a lot to see here. But what I do like though, is that the headlight holes go up with the bonnet. Hello! For an EV, this is a mainly manual affair. The locks are electric, whoops, but the tailgate is manual, and it's probably just as well. With range like that, you don't want to go using electrical stuff unnecessarily. It has a mini size boot with seats that go down 60/40. And underneath, a spot for your cables. Then we get to inside. The roof is full length in 2 panels, and the shutters come out from here in the middle. The heads-up display that pops up out of the dash, and this neat little semi-LCD monitor, driver's monitor, is actually attached to the top of the steering wheel. But only the center bit is LCD, the rest is just normal old dials. And in the center is Mini's infotainment system. It's got the traditional Mini center round-all. Now, in the old days, in the classic Minis, this is where the speedo was. And these lights, they change with function. So it depends on what it's doing as to what they are, and they run all the way around, and they're actually patterned. Now you can see that I've got my wireless Apple CarPlay paired, but the problem is that my phone doesn't fit in the wireless charger, so I could hook it up wired, but the wireless charger is in the center armrest, and if I try and fit this phone in with its case on, it tries to call SOS, so let's not do that. This Mini will also call SOS. I love this carbon fiber look. I love everything about this Mini. The surfaces are all soft to touch, and the switches overhead, they look classy. There's this little kind of mood light thing, an SOS button just in case you get into strife, and this is the button for the sunroof. And because this is a Mini yours, it has the leather upholstery and these neat slide out thigh rests. And all of the main controls are controlled down here from this central system. It's got a conventional gear lever, well, a conventional BMW gear lever. I'm just going to put that, okay. Now, I've got this set, these buttons down here. One of the buttons has 2 little arrows. It's not very clear as to what that does, but that's your regenerative braking button or your 1-pedal driving button. If you've got that activated, it certainly does make the regenerative action stronger, and you can tell that from the dial. I've got it set to 1 pedal now, as I do in all electric cars. But what I want to show you is how lovely and quiet this is. Again, I'm still driving without using the brake pedal. You really only use the brake pedal if you need to stop fast, but I still put it on at traffic lights. There are cheaper EVs, for sure, but the quality of those, it certainly doesn't match this, even if the range does. It's got 135 kilowatts of power, and that going through the front wheels is actually plenty. But you can see acceleration is brisk, getting tongue-tied. And if I put it up into sport mode, my range has dropped to 92 kilometers. So with each downward motion, so down to mid, down to eco, down to eco plus, it added 3 to 4 to 5 kilometers. I'm taking you to where I normally charge, and I say this because of an experience that happened the other night. And because 75% of the city of Sydney live in strata, in other words, in apartment blocks, they don't have access to a power point. Now, you saw those things in the boot. You can plug those into a normal three-phase socket. The only place that we can go for charging is our local shopping centre, which is right next to Audi's headquarters. Outside Audi's headquarters, there's a Charge Fox, which is 60 cents per kilowatt hour. In the shopping centre itself, there are further Charge Fox outlets, which the Charge Fox app says are vacant and available. And by available, I mean working. Now, this can only charge to a maximum of 50 kilowatts, so there's absolutely no point in paying more to charge at a faster charger because it won't charge the car any faster. And this takes about half an hour to get from 10% to 80% on a 50 kilowatt charger. That's quite a long time. The maximum it'll take for the lower chargers is 11 kilowatts, and that's going to take you even longer. Here I am at East Village Shopping Centre in Zetland. I think they call it Victoria Park. It's the name of the development. I'm going into the car park now, and there's nowhere here that tells me car park operating hours. There's no boom gate on the way in, but there is one on the way out, and you get 2 hours for free. I'm now at the... Yep, there's nothing on the evening rate to tell me that I have to be out at a certain time, only that the charging rate says in by 6 and out by 12:30. But nowhere does it say the car park is locked at 12:30. You can see there's a Tesla charging at one of the 350 kilowatt chargers, and over here is the 50 kilowatt charger that the Charge Fox app says is set to charge for free. Clearly that is not working, there's no lights on it. But nor here anywhere is there a sign that says you have to be out by 12:30. Because the 50 kilowatt unit was broken and there's no point to me paying more to charge my car, I went downstairs to the low-powered destination chargers. Here are the destination chargers down the next floor, and you'll notice it's all full of Teslas. These are completely free, and a maximum, I understand, of 22 kilowatts. No signage there either that you have to be out by 12:30. I came to this boom gate. Right now it said license plate is being scanned, drive safely. I came around this corner to find, now bear in mind there's no signs, that this shutter where the stop sign is was closed. And I had to plead with the man after much Googling, because there's, again, no contact numbers for the centre, no way to ring anybody, so I had to Google. Thank goodness I had phone reception. And I eventually got onto a fairly surly night watchman who said, well, all Sydney shopping centres shut at 12:30. Well, that's not true. I should have known that the car park was going to be locked. And I said, well, how? There's no sign. How am I supposed to know? I contacted Mirvac, the operators of the shopping centre, and they helpfully put me in contact with Wilson Parking, the operators of the car park. Wilson Parking haven't as yet replied. Surprise, surprise. Some car parks clearly have it noted that if you're there after a certain time, the car park is locked and it costs you X number of dollars to get out, $100 or whatever, which seems to me to be ridiculous. Nonetheless, this particular car park has no such notification, nor does it have a notification that the door is actually locked, only when the charging finishes. So you could reasonably assume that there's no charging after that between 12:30 and 6 o'clock when the car park starts charging again. that it's free. Why wouldn't you assume that? There's apartments above it. It's a perfectly reasonable assumption. It'll be interesting to see what happens when Wilson Parking gets back to me, if they get back to me. That's all this week from the Mini EV. I've loved this car. It is so much fun, and it is aimed at a particular pocket for a particular use. So no point saying it's not a highway car, it's not a this, it's not a that. It is what it is. As always, hit like, leave a comment, and just there to subscribe.